Hey, movie fans, so I saw Obsession last Friday. Now, the trailers for this movie looked interesting. It wasn't on the top of my list of the year. I thought this movie was fantastic. I'm glad this movie's doing well because it has a really small budget. This, to me, is one of the best horror movies of the year. Like, the only negative I really have with this movie is that it's predictable. That didn't bother me personally, though, because at the end of the day, to me, I don't have a problem with movies being predictable as long as the story's compelling and you get me invested in the characters. Then a movie being predictable, to me, isn't really an issue. And this movie does a great job of just getting you invested in the story and characters. It keeps you on edge of your seat. It has like a dark sense of humor at times in this movie. There's times where I was laughing at some moments in this movie because they kind of made you feel uncomfortable and like cringy in a way that was just like funny in a dark sense of humor type of way. So it had some dark humor at times in the movie that really worked for me personally. And the characters were just really compelling. And the performances by the two actors, I think, are great in this movie. Michael Johnson, who haven't seen him in stuff before, who plays the main character Bernard. I think he's a very compelling character. I think he gives a great performance in this movie. You really feel his feel when things get out of hand, and he really does a great job playing kind of like this guy at the beginning of the movie. You're kind of like, yeah, he's kind of an awkward type guy. He's not the most confident guy, it seems, and you feel sympathy for him at the beginning of the movie. And I love how the movie goes along. You kind of go like, "Oh man, he's kind of a bad guy, honestly." Like the as the like story goes along, you're like, he's not actually a good guy in this what he's doing. So I think he was great in this movie as the actor, and I think the Bernard character was just a really compelling, interesting character. And then the actress who plays the character's one of the character's friends, Nikki, who like the whole plot of the movie is that the main guy in the movie who plays character Bernard is has feelings for one of his friends, Nikki. So he goes to this shop originally, I think, to pick up he's picking up something for in the movie, and he grabs one of these things to make a wish. So you can make any wish you want, and he makes a wish that she would be in love with him, his friend Nikki. And the actress who plays Kid Nikki does a great job in this movie. She was in this TV show Superman and Lois, because I love that show. And she played Lana Lang's daughter, because I thought she was great in that show. This is the first time I've seen her in a movie, and she gives one of those to me one of the best performances of the year. Where when she gets like when she's breaking down, getting emotional, you really feel that, and you feel bad for her. That's why I say as the movie goes along, you kind of like he's kind of he's honestly a bad guy, but he's how out of control this gets what he did basically when it comes to making that wish for her to fall in love with him, and this kind of shows how crazy and bad it can get when you have if you have somebody who's really in love with you, and also kind of like be careful what you wish for. With the idea being, you get this thing, you break it in half, and you make any wish you want to make. Her performance in this movie is so great because she's able to switch between being emotional, where I felt bad for at moments in this movie, and when she's like breaking down, I'm like, damn, I really feel bad for her at times in this movie. Her character, I think her character was just very interesting and compelling. At the same time, there's moments in the movie where you really felt uncomfortable and creeped out by her. Like those moments in this movie where she's just standing, and even moments with the way she moves around at times, I'm like, you're just like, this is really creepy and funny in a like very like dark way when it comes to humor in this movie. Like I said at times, and she does a great job making you feel uncomfortable at times in this movie too for character, where you kind of like you don't know what she's gonna do next. So she was able to go between all these different emotions, like either like being emotional, crazy, creepy, makes like there's moments in the movie where you just feel like uncomfortable, and like there's moments where it's cringe, but in a great way, where you just cringe in a way where you're kind of like you're not sure how to react to this in a like I said in a way that's like uncomfortable and creepy. So she, in my opinion, she delivers one of the best performances of the year. Like she's fantastic in this, and I can't wait to see her in more stuff after this. And this movie is a great example of how to do a slow burn. Like to me, I have no problem with slow bones in the movie as long as you do it in a way where it keeps you on the edge of your seat and it feels like you're building tension. And this movie does a great job of building tension, where it keeps you on the edge of your seat and you're wondering what's going to happen next. Like an example of a bad slow bone for me would be Undertone, which I thought was an okay mediocre movie. That's an example of what I just watched a movie called Mother Mary, which is an example of a bad slow bone too, where it's just like where it just feels boring. This movie does a great job of never feeling boring, in my opinion. Even though it's like it's not it's not fast paced at the beginning, it does it in a way where it still keeps you on the edge of your seat and really invested in the story and characters. And this to me is how you do a slow burn in a movie. And it just like it ends in a way where I felt like, yeah, you knew how it was gonna end. It ends in a way though where you just like, yeah, it makes sense. That's how it should have ended. So you get invested in these two characters, and overall it just makes you feel really creeped out, uncomfortable at times. It keeps you on edge of your seat. It has great tension, and it has this great sense of dark humor, like I said, where there was moments where I was kind of laughing at how uncomfortable and like creepy it was at times. So this movie just to me, story's great. I think the characters are both compelling and interesting. The two lead characters, you feel really invested in the characters, and I think both actors do a fantastic job in this movie. So it's and also I think you can make a franchise out of this. Like the whole idea where you go to shop and you can make a whisk. I also like this too. I love how this movie establishes rules with the whisk then, where like you either for the whisk to end, you either have to kill yourself or you can have somebody else make a whisk for you to contradict the whisk you made. So I love how this movie establishes those two rules in the movie. So I thought it did a great job of establishing the rules with this item that grants you a whisk. So it did a great job of kind of like just establishing rules and the lore there. And I think you could definitely make a franchise out of this. Like I wouldn't mind seeing like more stories in this world where you have other people just making different wishes and how much it like backfires. Because I think one of the things about this movie is that it's like that old saying where be careful what you wish for. And I think this movie does a great job of exploring the idea of like what happens if you wish for something that you really want and it ends up going really bad. And it's not as great as you think it is. What idea of like somebody being so in love with you, it can become toxic and go really bad. So I think the movie does a great job exploring that stuff, and it just to me is a fantastic movie. Definitely one of the best horror movies of the year. I'm glad this movie's doing well because it has a very low budget, so I'm happy that it's doing well in theaters right now. And I would definitely say go check out Obsession. This to me was a surprise movie this year for me because again, I was intrigued by it with the trailers. I wasn't like really excited for it, and it ended up being one of those movies that I'm glad I saw at the theaters and one of those movies I highly recommend. Go check out at theaters if you're looking for just a great tense horror movie. So that's my thoughts on Assassin. Until next time, movie fans.